You look like you are on the hunt.
It's that scent again. Almost feels familiar somehow. I was hoping you and Charlie might give it another go. You down?
Who would miss a chance to hunt with Blade?
I'm flattered. Now meet me out by that creepy-ass church. Let's keep going. I can still smell it. That thing is out here somewhere. Now I remember why I stay in the Abbey at night. This place gives me the creeps, and I've seen some stuff. I can still smell it. That thing is out here somewhere. Damn thing got away again.
We may need some help.
Not so mysterious now, huh? We should head back. This place gives me the creeps. And that ain't easy to do. You coming?
I am going to look around a while longer.
Suit yourself. I'll see you back home.
Interesting. The gods are fickle. There must not be anything here. Autumn must not see it that way. If it was here, Autumn would show me. Must not be her purview. Autumn does not answer. Autumn reveals all. Something terrible happened here. This area, it feels wrong somehow. I sense an old suffering.
Members of the local coven were persecuted here. And worse.
Witches?
Salem's history with witches may have been distorted over the years, but some things are true. The witches of Salem did their best to thwart Shaw, but he rallied his congregation against them. The catalyst of the infamous Salem witch trials. When the coven called out in distress, it was Lilith and Sarah who came to their aid.
They came all the way from Transia with the Abbey to help a group they had never met?
You may not believe it, but I'm sure you would have done the same. Isn't that why the Sons are here today? Aside from that, your mother and Sarah both saw the signs of Chthon's influence. They knew there was more happening in Salem than the persecution of witches.
Chthon's corruption had taken root in the New World just like the colonists themselves.
And while Lilith and Sarah were still preoccupied in Transia, they entrusted one of the moon seals to the Knights of Wundagore, who brought it to the Coven with the hope that its power would reinforce them enough to deal with Shaw.
But that is not what happened.
Unfortunately, no. When the plague came to Salem, the same one that afflicted your father, Shaw used it to further agitate his flock by placing the blame squarely on the Coven.
And the witches?
The mob was vicious. And the rest is history.
But what about the moon seal?
After the trials, the moon seal vanished along with Shaw. Without drawing any conclusions, I think we can both guess where it went.
If this was his church, then it is possible the seal is still here, or somewhere nearby.
You read my mind. Good hunting, dear.
Autumn thinks otherwise. Was this always here? I may have forgotten a few things, but I feel as if I would remember a decrepit church on the grounds.
You may not remember the structure, but maybe you've heard of the man responsible for it? Hiram Shaw? This was his house of worship, and like a great many things on the grounds, Sarah preferred to keep it in a sort of mystic quarantine. Even I haven't been inside.
Is that all she did while I slept? Seal things off for our protection?
She can be overzealous at times, but in this case, she was right to be wary.
So, what dark secret does this place hold?
When Hiram Shaw first came to Salem, he was little more than a charlatan posing as a preacher. He managed to convince a few desperate souls to join his congregation, and with their help, he broke ground on this church. Whether it was coincidence or fate, in digging beneath the church, Shaw found something that would change the course of all of our lives. A long-forgotten page of the Darkhold.
If Shaw found a page of the Darkhold, it was because Chthon wanted it that way.
I tend to agree. That cursed book is always seeking out a way to return its master to power.
And a power-hungry preacher makes for the ideal messenger of darkness.
Yes, Shaw was an eager study, consumed almost immediately by the whisperings of Chthon and the Darkhold's power. Nearly overnight, the people of Salem, old and new, were at his threshold, waiting for the word.
She does not see it happening. This must be Shaw's study. Oster smiles upon me. Autumn must not see it that way. The goddess disagrees. Is not like anything I have seen on the grounds before.
And yet, it's familiar somehow.
Like the wards of protection that Wanda invoked to protect Dr. Strange's sanctum?
Very perceptive, dear. Maybe you should approach the good doctor and see if he has any insights. And Hunter, be circumspect. Dr. Strange is no fool. Hello, Hunter.
Tell me about Hiram Shaw.
By all accounts, Hiram Shaw was a desperate man. Desperate for power, wealth, influence, the usual desires that cloud men's minds. As I understand it, he was a largely unsuccessful minister before his arrival at Salem, traveling from place to place, swindling whatever followers he managed to gain before being run out of town. To think that a simple man like Shaw finding a piece of the Darkhold was enough to set all of this in motion, it puts things in perspective.
What do you know about my father?
That's not an easy question, dear. What would you like to know? Was he a good man? Yes, I think he was. Your mother loved him dearly, and he doted over her. I think for a time she forgot who she was, where she came from. And I don't mean that as a bad thing. She and Sarah both deserve to find something more than just another fight with Chthon. Lilith did. Sarah didn't. At least, not for a while longer still. I honestly think that's the only thing she ever had against him, blood or not.
Did Wanda ever make it to this place?
I suspect she did. But if she discovered something, she didn't tell me. Until we speak again.
What's good? Ready for shop class?
I am ready.
Right on.
Good instincts, but you want to tighten up the array.
Like this?
Close. Here, I can show you.
What's all the, new equipment?
Ah, the supplies? No need to thank me. Donated to the cause, courtesy of 5 Stark subsidiaries.
Wow. It's really something.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mess, but just take what you need. I'll clear out the rest. I promise.
Awesome. That's great.
How's it going, boss? Ready to get your hands greasy?
Tony, why did you bring all this equipment?
Really? The old stuff has a junkyard horked up in an 80s machine shop vibe. Why, were we supposed to vote on it?
No problem, but I would like to know how you managed to bring all this to the Abbey.
I was just taking up space in various warehouses, so I had it delivered.
How?
I carted it, crate by crate, through Limbo. Don't bring it up with Ilyana. I dropped a spectrometer off her glowy bridge. She's not happy. So, about this situation, I get it. We're bumping elbows. But you kids are doing good work here. Whatever you want to do, I'll support it.
Did you know Tony planned to do this?
No. Did you?
Nah, but it sounds like his heart was in the right place. Now, it's time to build something cool. Now that we know Wanda's a threat, you'll need an edge if you face her again.
What kind of edge?
Nothing that involves her coming to harm. We're looking at ways to protect you from her abilities.
How is that possible?
Our first prototype keeps you connected to the real world in case Wanda alters it around you.
Like an anchor, tethering me to reality?
Exactly. If Wanda alters your reality, our second prototype alters it back. Robbie got the idea from his spirit of vengeance. I think the prototype is powered by Hellfire, so best not to jostle it.
Like a button I press to reset her alterations? Or a broadcast interfering with her own transmission?
Perfect, you got it. Glad you cleared that up with Tony. Now we can get to work. I have the components you gave me. Always good to get ahead. You ready to put this one to bed?
I am ready.
Let me know when you're ready to take off.
I am ready to go.
That's good work. Well done.
Thanks.
Did the new equipment help?
Yeah, it really took the
Well, that went not poorly. And that's a decent prototype. Just needs refinement before you bring it to market.
You plan to sell it?
It's only an expression. Although, nope, stopping right there.
Caretaker's not spoken a word to me all day. It's been lovely.
To snap Lilith's hold on Banner, we're gonna have to get creative.
I don't. I'm tracking a new threat. What's ugly, hungry, and dead all over.
Vampires.
Yes, but an entirely new breed. Nothing I've seen before.
Les enfants terribles are surprisingly strong for their stature. Their wings are silent, and their tiny claws can cut right through flesh and bone.
Ugh, no. No creepy toddler vampires.
Thank goodness. Their dead eyes and hollow weeping are unforgettable.
I'm happy to live my life without knowing any more details. The new breed I'm tracking are, they're vampires.
I see. No, I do not. You already said they were vampires.
Vampires with a Y? Pronounced exactly the same as vampires. I suppose that was wildly creative for the 16th century monks who first cataloged them.
No, it is just confusing.
That's why I'm calling them new breed vampires, to set them apart. I'll flag anything related to these latest bloodsuckers and send it directly to the mirror table.
Carol, you are...
The best? Yeah, I know.
Ah, Hunter, I was just admiring the collection. Someone spent a great deal of time piecing this library together. I hope you don't mind me, having a look around.
Of course not, Doctor. The library is an asset to us all.
I see I'm not the only one who's taken an interest in these works. You haven't been getting into anything precarious, I hope?
I've found something on the Abbey grounds that I think you should see.
Oh, sounds mysterious. By all means, lead the way. I typically avoid venturing this far from the Abbey, especially at night. It makes Tony nervous, you see. Not in the "I'm concerned about your personal well-being" doctor sense. I think he's actually more afraid of what might happen to my side of the forge without proper supervision. Which, to be fair, is a valid concern. And in most cases, I'm perfectly content to bide my time studying safely indoors. There's an unsettling air about this place.
This church belonged to a preacher named Hiram Shah. His influence turned Salem against its coven.
A charismatic personality and a fearful populace can do much evil together.
There was more to it than that.
Yes, I suspected as much. But I'm sure there's nothing to fear with you by my side, Hunter. You were right to bring this to my attention, Hunter.
We thought it resembled one of your wards of protection.
There's a reason for that. It's the same magic Wanda invoked in her attempts to protect the Sanctum. But what is it that you're chasing out here? These wards aren't something to toy with.
I will not know for sure until I get past this. Is there any way to dispel it?
Unfortunately, no. What good would the wards of protection be if they were so easily broken? But I have been wrong before, at least recently. Do you have any suspicions as to who may have conjured this here?
Wanda spent a great deal of time out here, and she had the power.
She does have some experience with these spells, but why would she do that?
The only way I will know for sure is to find a way through to the other side.
I'll think on it and see if I can come up with some way to assist you, Hunter. For now, though, you'll have to be patient.
Goddess must be busy. Goddess must be busy. Autumn does not answer.
Learning so much more from Faustus now that he's dead. Well met.
Uh-oh, here comes trouble.
Captain Marvel swears she can see threads of Dr. Faustus's plan.
Hunter.
Hello, my sweet girl.
Hunter, hello. Never a dull moment.
I have heard that Wanda's power comes from Cont.
The way I understand it, as a child, Wanda and her family lived in Transia, not far from Mount Wundagore. Within that mountain, the dark god Cthon had long been imprisoned, his corruptive influence an ongoing threat to the people of Transia.
And Wanda was affected?
Whether Cthon reached out to Wanda, or he found her by chance, I can't say. But Wanda was blessed or cursed by Cthon, touched by the power of chaos magic. While he had hoped to make her some sort of acolyte, she proved to be more capable than even he foresaw.
What can you tell me about Cthon?
One of the first Elder Gods, Cthon is said to have existed for tens of millions of years, well before the dawn of humanity on Earth. Believe it or not, he wasn't always the bastion of evil that we know today.
This story sounds familiar.
As the legend goes, The downfall of the old gods was actually brought upon by Chthon's brother Set, who found that by consuming his siblings, he could gain their power. After Set consumed Hypus, Chthon followed suit with the others, and in this way, many of the first gods also became the first demons.
And how did he come to be imprisoned on Earth?
In the same way Hydra has worked to restore Lilith, various cultists of the past sought to revive Chthon to wield his power. When Chthon failed to cooperate, these same cultists did the only thing they could. They locked him away again.
What do you know about Transia?
Transia is your ancestral homeland, Hunter. The birthplace of Lilith and Caretaker. It has always been a sort of magical junction, drawing in every type of occultist, sorcerer, and even the occasional Elder God. The Abbey grounds still behave in much the same way, even after all this time.
And Wundagore?
Wundagore Mountain has always played a prominent role in whatever scheme was underway. Chthon himself is said to have created the Darkhold, deep within the caverns of the mountain.
What was Caretaker like when she was younger?
I'm sure it's difficult to remember now, but Sarah wasn't always the steadfast contrarian. In our younger days, she was much more enthusiastic about dashing off to save the day, not unlike some of our younger allies among the Suns.
That does not sound like the Caretaker we know and love.
Keep in mind, Hunter, Sarah has faced a great deal of loss in her time here. Everyone she ever cared about, in fact. I would say she's earned the right to be disagreeable, at the very least. She is a very strong woman. I'm not sure I would have held up as well given the same circumstances.
Who were the Knights of Wundagore?
Another mysterious group of heroes in a world full of mysterious groups. Of course, I'm no expert on Transian history. I do know that the Knights of Wundagore were formed as a response to the growing threat of Chthon's influence near the mountain.
What exactly did they do?
Hydra was hardly the first to dabble in chthonic schemes. Many have tried and failed to awaken the Dark God. Over the centuries, the Knights fought alongside a number of allies who stood against the various crazed worshippers of Chthon.
You were there? At the witch trials?
Not initially, no. If I had been, I like to think I could have stopped them, before it was too late. I sensed something was wrong, and when the witches cried out in distress, I came to Salem as quickly as I could.
But Shah had already committed his crimes against them?
Yes. It was a devastating discovery. And for the longest time, I blamed myself.
But you see now it was not your fault.
I've come to understand that we must accept the past and move on. But that doesn't mean I won't always carry that pain with me.
I know that feeling all too well.
I know. And I wish you didn't, dear. I really do.
Hey,
Next time I face Scarlet Witch, I will not hold back.
Nothing like taking in the New York skyline after driving Hydra back into hiding.
On the prowl? Sarah means business. Always has.
What is this? That is something. Intriguing. Fascinating.
Hey!
Well, looky who it is.
don't defend my actions to gardeners who train their kin to be weapons.
I needed that.
We're ending their war. It's a slow burn, but we'll get there. Yeah, that might sound callous, but his ledgers are a trove of secrets. Whatever weird gamma experiments Banner was performing on Wanda, they have something to do with the Sanctum.
If Faustus's scribblings give us a shot of retaking the Sanctum, then fine. It's good to have you around again.
Go on, Hunter. I'd like to study this area a bit more.
Must not be her purview. There must not be anything here. Autumn thinks otherwise. The goddess disagrees. If it was here, Autumn would show me.